Let's thank Cheryl to speak for sharing. At this time, I would like to introduce our second speaker, and he's going to be sharing on the 9th step. With no further ado, I give you Jimmy S.
Hello, my name is Jimmy, and I'm an addict. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm petrified, but because of the support and the love and the fellowship, I have some courage to come up here and share my story. I'm supposed to share a little bit on both the 9th tradition and the 9th step. And very briefly about the 9th tradition, I'm just going to say that it's the group's primary purpose is to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. Anything outside of that needs to be wrapped up in a committee, or any type of service board, outside of that time. I was told when I got here that this is an emergency room to life, and we need to focus on it, while we're here. And anything outside of it, we just have to create a committee or a service board, and I just want to keep it simple because I want to get through to the 9th step real quick. And to do that, I just have to pump it up through the previous 8. When I got here, I was sort of young. I was extremely angry, rebellious, and I just didn't know that I was really mad at myself, and I was blaming everyone for my issues. When I didn't even know Narcotics Anonymous existed. Someone explained to me that this church was having these classes that would teach you how to use safely, And I was like, oh, and of course, I had to consider the source. It was the girl that was getting high with that told me the story. And so I said, really? And she said, yeah, because I was tired of geeking. I didn't mind drinking and all that stuff and getting high, but I hated geeking. This is the part I can't stand, And so I said, where's the spot at? And she told me it was over, East Capitol Street. So I went over East Capitol Street. Not right away. It took me a couple of days because I was really excited and I got some hope from that message. And so when I got there, I just wanted to make sure that I was straight when I got there, So when I walked in, I was late. I went with a girlfriend of mine named Tiffany. And I made sure what do you do? What do you do when you're going to a place like this? You want to have everything you need to have. As they said, Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't know what the hell the anonymous meant, but I knew what narcotics meant, so of course I brought me some coke. I had it, and I did, and I really cared about how you thought about me, So I went and bought me a brand new stem. And I threw the old stem away because I didn't want y'all talking about me and this black ass stem. So I brought me a nice clear stem. And I had my revolver, which I always keep on me wherever I go, because you gotta have that. I thought everybody had one. And I got there late, thank God, because when they said whatever they said about if you have any drug paraphernalia, and I didn't hear none of that because I got there late. Thank God. Because I would have carried that shit outside and I would have kept right on walking. I wouldn't have left it. You don't leave nothing like that outside and then come back in. Not no addict. So, what the hell? I mean, I'd be thinking, what the hell? Why did he say that? Because I'm not coming back, So, I came in and I sat in the back with a girlfriend of mine. And I was like, what's going on? Why are they all sitting down? And who was the two in the front talking? So, I chilled for a minute. I said, I'm getting kind of tired. I'm ready to light up or something. So they had halftime, they had the secretary's report, and I knew the girl who was doing the secretary's report, her name was Edie. And she was using too. My mother used to be best friends all the time. I said, oh, Edie, you got a job? She said, I'm the secretary. I said, oh, damn, Edie got a job. She's a secretary. I said, that's good, So I went over, I chilled in the back for a minute. And, after I chilled in the back for a minute, I said, look, they doing too much damn talking. So I did what I knew what to do. I went to the bathroom and I blazed. And I'm not proud of that, but I blazed. And after I blazed, I said, okay, good, I'm ready. Because I needed something just to get me to the next 15 minutes, And I went back out. I know my eyes big as hell already on the natural, okay? So you can imagine they was about ready to pop out my head when I came back. And so I sat down and I was chilling and I said, what the hell are they talking about now? And back then, I got clean in 1991. So back then, they wasn't really talking about, they was talking about being clean, but they kept using the saying abstinence. We practice abstinence. And and I couldn't speak in complete sentences. My education was limited. And so I reached over, I said, Tiffany, what in the hell is abstinence? And she looked at me and said, you got me. I said, well, they need to put some of that abstinence in this damn pipe and let's smoke it and pass that shit around, And, the meeting was over and I went over to my girlfriend, and I said, I don't know what the hell just happened, but it's not what I expected. And she said, it's about not using, blah, blah, blah. I said, not using? I said, oh, okay, that's all right. But they told me to keep coming back. That's the one thing that stuck with me, to keep coming back. And I kept coming back because y'all was telling y'all business and I couldn't understand that. I said, they are really crazy. They telling their business, it's stupid. But I'm going to come back and listen because I'm nosy as hell. So I went over, so I kept going to meetings. And she told me about, that's what you need to do, keep going to meetings and it'll get better. And I said, okay. And I want to hurry up. Okay, so what happened quickly, I had to go through first step, I got a temporary sponsor. And I want to say this. I thank God for Larry, who was my first sponsor, was a temporary sponsor. Tina T, Van T, who was my sponsor up until a few months ago. Halloween, he was murdered. Wow. And the main reason why I got him to sponsor me was because of his way of handling the ninth step. That was the main reason why I got him. Hey, Valencia. And I want to thank Honey W, for being my sponsor now, because I know I'm not an easy job, And Van, I'm going to tell you real quickly, because I want to dedicate this year to Van. Van told me, when I first decided I needed to get him, because Van and Tina are brothers and sisters, and Tina had died, and I went a couple of years without having a sponsor. I call that time the dark ages of my recovery. And then I got Van was telling me about this guy had did something to him, something really, really bad, something I feel that is not forgivable. And he said, I saw the dude at the funeral, this girl's funeral. I said, you saw him? He said, yeah. And he said, and I was thinking about it, and I walked up to him. I said, yeah. And he said, I thought about it, and I went up to him, and I said, yeah, what you do? He said, I hugged him. I said, you did what? Hugged him? He said, yeah. He said, what did you think I was going to say? I said, I'm just going to say you pushed him or stole him in the face or spit on him or something. He said, I ain't going to do nothing like that. He said, I hugged him because I want to carry that feeling with me. I wanted to clean my spirit. I needed to cleanse my spirit with that. And I said, damn, you need to be my sponsor, because I don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there yet. And that inspired me, because I want to live in peace. Now, I can't run through the steps as to how I got to 9. I'm just going to have to go to my 9 steps experiences. And I really wish I could, because it's a really good story. I really want to tell you the story. But one day, y'all find out. We get together one day and I tell you the story. But let me get you to 9. I still got 20 minutes? Okay, I can give you a little bit. So I went through the first 3 steps, okay, with Larry. Then I had to go to treatment, did 4 and 5. Why I got clean, because I was in treatment and I was praying, because I said, I really don't want to be here with all these old ass people. I was like 21. And I said, I don't know, God. And so I said, and I was mad. I didn't want to really pray to God, but I said, look, you guys showed me something. I don't think this is gonna work. And I'm out in Chantilly, Virginia. I'm from Southeast DC. I'm out in Chantilly, Virginia at a treatment program. And you know what happened? H&I came in, right? It's not any regular H&I. It was like Sesame Seed H&I. Sesame Street H&I, I mean. They were from 16 to 22. And they came in, I had an attitude quickly, right? And they came in, they gave us a meeting. And they was like from 16 to 22, and they had time, like 1 to 2 years. That was a long time if you only had 30 days. 1 to 2 years, it's like forever, you know? And so at the end of the meeting, I said, y'all really got this kind of time? I said, y'all really clean? And they looked at the girl, she looked at me, and she was like, we was about the same age. She might have been a year older. She was like probably 21, 22. And she said, yeah. She said, what? You can't get clean? I said, bitch, please. I'm going to get clean. And keep in mind now, I did the 4th step in there. So if you do the 4th step, keep in mind, once you do the 4th step, please do the 5th step immediately. Because I had did my first 4th step with my bad attitude and stuff. I was very aggressive. Okay? And I was in there, and this dude was playing pool, and this dude and I was really, really cool. But this dude, I had missed a shot at something. He said, you faggot. And, you know, I'm gay. And at the time, I had a huge problem with it. And I just did the 4th step. So I had unleashed it, although I lied on some of them questions. Because I ain't telling none of y'all my damn business. But the truth was in my head. It was alive. And I said, I will kill your ass in here. I said, in fact, I will kill every motherfucker in here. Excuse my expression. That's why I said, I'm just trying to tell you where I was at and what I said. You know? Because the pain. I said, trust me. I told them, I said, trust me. I got some numbers. It can be done. And they was, everybody in there was trembling and shit. And they said, he got to go. And so when the counselors came and got me, they said, oh, you have to go. You done threatened. I said, you know, then I got scared because I'm getting ready to go back into the streets. I said, well, I really didn't mean it. Psych. I said, I really didn't mean it. I said, I'm sorry. They said, we accept your apology, but your ass still getting up out of here. Because you done made the threat. So my mom, who I love so much, who I'm making amends to each and every day, when I'm having patience with her, when she says things that I don't think she should say, when she just gets on my nerves, she would never know it, because every time I look at her, I'm smiling. Like I said, I'm so happy to see you, and I'm so happy to be with you, and I love you. You know, because she had the same, she loved me in spite of my nasty, funky, disgusting ass. It's all right. I'm trying not to curse. So we went over to, let me tell you what happened. So my mom came pick me up, and she took me home, and before we got home, I remember St. Luke's. Remember St. Luke's? It was the first meeting I went to, St. Luke's. It was like 10:30 at night. And I was like, I wish they had a meeting. I was praying. I said, God, please, I wish they had a meeting. It's so late. And I looked up, the lights was on. I said, stop the car. I said, what's going on? They forgot to cut the lights out, but it was people upstairs. They had started the Nighttime is the Right Time group at 10:30 at night. Whew! You talking about heaven. I knew I needed a meeting. I said, oh, I'm going up in here, and I got to ride home. Don't worry about me. You just get home. They got me. So I went in there, you know, and they had me. So let me tell you, we went, now, I got clean October 3rd, 1991. Thanksgiving Day. Now, the next week was Thanksgiving. My mom took me, we went to Myrtle Beach, where our family from Myrtle Beach. They're from Myrtle Beach. And keep in mind now, I done got this 4th step in my head, and I'm really upset and messed up. And I go to my aunt's house. I got this, I'm mean mugging everybody. Just mean mugging. I didn't even realize, just mad. And they was having the Thanksgiving dinner, you know, they was getting together to have the Thanksgiving dinner, and I had to use the bathroom. So I went in to use the bathroom. It must have been because I had to take a dump. So I was in there for a minute. So I'm in there thinking, mad, taking a dump, thinking, mad, taking a dump. Well, when I come out, the whole house is gone. They done took Thanksgiving dinner across the street to my other aunt's house. We ain't standing there with that mean ass dude, you know. And my aunt was standing there, and she said, she was patting her feet. She said, something is wrong with you. I was like, well, yeah, you're right. Something is wrong. And she said something. I knew it was God. She said, you need to talk. I said, And my mind said, I guess that's the 5th step. So she said, you want to talk? And I trusted her because I wasn't giving it to y'all because I ain't mess with y'all and I ain't know y'all like that. You know, I wasn't telling my business like y'all outside. So I went in her bedroom and I sat down and I gave her everything. And keep in mind, I didn't value honesty when I got here because I was being rewarded to be dishonest by my dad. I have to tell you about that story another time, another share. But so I didn't value honesty. I love being dishonest. I love deceiving people. I love wearing masks. You know, that's my control. You know what I'm saying? I can control what you think about me by just whatever mask I wear. And I would hide behind labels, Prada, Gucci, all that, because I want you to see how good I look and how good I am. But inside, I was just balling. I was just trash. I felt like zero. So I started telling her everything, and I was crying, and I was so upset, and I was like, I'm just going to give her everything. I gave her everything, and I kept sharing, and 3/4 of the way, I started feeling kind of really good, and really I said, oh, this ain't bad. And so when I got finished, you know, I was feeling really, really good. Now, I had looked at my aunt. She was looking really bad. She was crying, bent over and all that. I said, well, honey, you asked for it, so I gave it to you. So I got up. And I walked up out of there, and I believe if I would have flapped my arms, I could have flew my ass right back to D.C. That's how light I felt in my spirit. And the 5th step, I realized then the 5th step was more about me freeing myself of the demons that was inside me than about me telling you my damn business. You can do what you want with it after I give it to you. Because it's nothing but trash anyway. What you going to do with garbage? So, you know, I had to do, so let me skip. What's my time? So let me skip. So I had to do 4 and 5 again with a therapist. And then I did 4 or 5 again. By that point, the 3rd time was with my sponsor. And that's when I got to 6. Now, I couldn't do 6 immediately. Because you know what? There comes a time for everyone. You know, they said the steps come in order for a reason. I guess they do. But I don't always know the reason because I went from 5, I had to go straight to 9. And let me tell you what happened. My dad came to me, you know, and he said, you know, I hated him. From the age of 12, I used to pray and ask God to take his life. And by 14, when he didn't take his life, I said, God, I need you to take mine. Wow. Because me and this man cannot sit on the same planet at the same damn time. So I'll go and you just bring my ass back. You know? So what happened, so you can know how I was feeling, you can imagine what my childhood was like. So in going through, he said, I want you to take care of me. I'm dying of AIDS. And I'm the only child, both my parents. And he said, I don't want nobody to take care of me but you. And he said that as he dropped me off at a meeting. And I went inside the meeting, and I never shared in that meeting ever. I just found the Friday Night Gay group. And I went in there, and I was always quiet, but I raised my hand. And let me tell you, I don't know if somebody was sharing at the time, or they was about to close the meeting. I don't know what they was about to do. But anytime I raised my damn hand, they picked on me because they knew I had something to say. Because I only shared when my ass was on fire. And I told him about what was getting ready to happen. My father asked me to do. He wanted me to come take care of him. I said, I don't want to do it. That's when I got Tina T as my sponsor. And she said, you need to go take care of him. She said, because if you don't, you're going to miss your blessing. And I said, oh. I said, the money. You're right, I forgot. I mean, that's where I was. I mean, I wasn't spiritual. You know, I was far from spiritual, trust me. I said, you right, the money. I forgot I wasn't thinking about the money. Bitch, you right, you smart. You know? But I still didn't want to go take care of him. You know, and I asked my mom, I said, You know what you think? She said, you need to take care of that man. That's your only father. You only get one. So I said, I got both these people on the same side. Let me go ahead. And I dragged my foot and went and took. And the first day I went over there, that's how I do it. The first day, he said to me, I don't know why I don't like you. He said, I really don't fuck with you. He said, well, we're going to see what we can do. Now, let me tell you what Tina told me before I went over there. Tina told me, when you go over there, because I called her, and I said, let me tell you what this motherfucker said. And I told her what he said, and she said, let me tell you what you say. I said, I didn't say nothing. I was in shock. I couldn't say nothing. I was speechless. He got off that time. And she said, let me tell you something. Don't you talk back to him. Don't say anything to him. When he gets smart with you, you just hold it in and you bring it to a meeting. And you character assassinate his ass in a meeting, or you call me, or you call somebody in your network. And keep in mind, this was in 1991. We didn't have no damn cell phones, and I couldn't text nobody. Okay? So when you was going through some feelings, you had to sit through the feeling and rock. That's why Doreen was so popular, because she was talking about rocking. Because we all had to rock. We had no cell phones to dial nobody and tell somebody something. You feel me? And there were times that, I remember when I had to go out with my little 35 cents to the payphone and call somebody. You don't know how I feel when you use your 35 cents for a cell phone and get an answering machine. That's a feeling. And then you had to come back and sit with yourself, and rock again. So she told me, she said, don't you say nothing back to him. You take it to a meeting. And I did. I would take it to a meeting. But you best believe, living with him improved my meeting attendance by 150%. Okay? I was doing marathons when there wasn't no marathons going on. I knew it at 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2:30, 4:36, 8:30, and 10:30. Nighttime is the right time. By that point, I was too tired to use or anything. I just came home and went to sleep. So after that, I'm going to just give you this. So one day, after doing this, not talking back, just being quiet, just doing what I need to do, practicing humility, being focused on what the real purpose, the main purpose of me being here is to help him, not to cuss him out, not to tell him how I feel or what I think, just to take care of him. He's in his last days. One day I was in there, he was really getting on my nerves. It was a good day. He was getting on my nerve, and I was looking at him. He was standing by the window. I said, I ought to push his ass outside. Okay? And today I can't tell you why I didn't. But she said, you need to really, you need to pray for him. And I need to tell you about my prayer behavior later. But let me tell you, he came in one day. It was about 4 months after me living with him, keep my damn mouth shut. I was washing dishes, and I just learned how to wash dishes that year. And he said, I need to talk to you. And I said, oh, God. I said, okay. I said, here I come. So I went and sat down. He said, let me tell you what's been going on with me. He said, I've been sitting here going off on you all this time, and you haven't been saying nothing. And I was saying to myself, why are you talking to him like that? Why are you treating him like that? And I had to look in my mind to see what was going on. You're just so innocent, so nice. You're just sitting there and you're helping me and you're not saying nothing. And I'm just acting like a damn fool. He said, then I thought about it. He said, my mother gave me up when I was young. I don't know why she kept the other 4 kids, but she got rid of my ass. I don't know why. And he said, and she gave me to like her sister or her cousin or something. And he said, so I was still in the family. He said, but I wanted to know why would she give me up? He said, even as I grew, as I got grown, I would go spend time with her, and she was nice to me and everything. He said, but I wanted to ask her, why'd you give me up? I don't understand. And he said, she died before I could even ask her the question. Wow. I didn't have the courage to do it. He said, then you were born. And I saw the relationship between you and your mother, and I instantly got jealous. He said, I got so jealous. I was so envious. He said, I couldn't handle it.
Wow.
He said, and if I ever hurt your feelings, and I know that I did, he said, I know I hurt your feelings. I know I made you feel bad. I know there were days that you had that were lonely. He said, but I want you to know, he said, I'm sorry. He said, and I want to ask you if you can forgive me.
It's okay.
So I said, because I was in shock, I said, I forgive you. I said, I love you. And the committee was going crazy. The committee said, what the fuck? What? You need to cuss this brother out. The committee. But you know, what I've learned through this whole program, because I have a spiritual awakening. And I think the one thing that I value most in this program is my spiritual awakening. I have 5 minutes, thank you. I value my spiritual awakening, and thank you for telling me that, because I want to put some time on that. And let me tell you, my spiritual awakening allows me to really appreciate things like that, and it really allows me to let things roll off my back and focus on what's really important in any situation. I realized I got it in the 7th step when I really developed my conscience in the 7th step. And, you know, I realized that my self-esteem and my value is not as affected by what you say to me. It's in how I respond to you.
That's right.
What I do is who I am. You know? And my sponsor told me a long time, she said, you know, you can't write your way into a new way of living. You can't talk your way into a new way of living. You have to act your way into a new way of living. You know, and life is good today. You know, I have to say this, you know, my father at the end, he said, after that time, I gave him a surprise birthday party. And we had a good time. That Father's Day was the best Father's Day we've ever had. Because all the Father's Day before, I had to give this man this card that I didn't mean. Because I was mad. And I hate being phony. Give him damn cards saying I love you. Oh, fuck with you, you know. But this card I gave him the most beautiful card I got it today, and I framed it. And I gave him this card and told him how much I loved him, and I know about all the confusion we had in the past, but I appreciate where we are now. That summer, I came in the house one day, this summer he was sweeping, and I walked in the house, and as soon as I walked in, he said, hey, how's my favorite person today? So I turned around, because I thought somebody had walked in behind me. I said, who the hell are you talking to? He said, I'm talking to you, fool. Come here, give me a hug. Give me a hug, man. You know, and I'm going to tell you, he was hugging me and I was enjoying the hug, but I was also going through spiritual warfare because I hadn't yet did 6, 7, and 8 to really appreciate the act in 9, but I couldn't wait till I got there to 9 to do this amends. And so in October, he got sick. He only had 2 weeks. He got sick. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And I was there, and I didn't know what to say. And I called my sponsor and said, well, he's sitting in the bed, I'm sitting right here. I said, what the hell do I say? She said, you don't have to say nothing, just sit there and just show up and be present. And I did that. And I was present. When they came and said it's time for him to go to hospice. And I said, you know, it's time for you to go to hospice. And he shook his head. I said, I want you to know I really don't want you to go there. I said, I really love you. He said, I really love you too. And so they took him over to hospice, by which I had about maybe 2 more weeks with him. And I spent those 2 weeks getting everything, 2 minutes, thank you. I spent those 2 weeks doing everything I could to make his last days comfortable. I got his favorite meals, played his favorite music, and you know, that day came. And when that day came, and when he died, we were best friends. I literally loved him to death. And you don't know how much of an appreciation I got for this program. Because I would have lost that. I would have never got there if it wasn't for NA and sponsorship. You talk about respect and sponsorship after that. You know I gave my sponsor a hard time when I came in. And I remember looking at her after that because I would celebrate my anniversary the next week. my second year. And I turned around, I looked at her, and I said, thank you. I want to thank you for being my sponsor. And she looked at me, she said, thank me. She said, I want to thank you for being my sponsor. She said, you're here to help me. She said, you get some help, that's fine. But she said, you keeping me busy. She said, sponsoring you was like sponsoring a service full of friends. She said, thank you, goddamn. She said, I don't have to think about my shit dealing with you. You know, so that's all I have on Step 9. I wish I had more time, and thank you for allowing me to share.